Hi everyone, this video is a video response to an EQAFE interview or series, it's several parts, on the topic of self-presentation. And in the interview, the portal and the beings in the portal share their experience of sitting in at a workshop. That's kind of the closest thing I can relate it to, where there was a person presenting certain information, methods, strategies in terms of how they work with certain points. And as much as the person was presenting this information, they were equally presenting themselves, in that, if you have to make a presentation about something, it's easy to think that it's only about what it is that you are presenting. But equally, who you are, your own nature, comes through in such presentations. And the interviews kind of go through the type of things they picked up on, what they could see, how also depending on who you are, the attitude, your mindset, the kind of vibe that you resonate in bringing through information will equally trigger certain things in the audience who is receiving that information. Because like the whole situation kind of reminds me of Photoshop, where you have your raw picture, the raw information, and then you can layer it with effects and all other things to make it go pew, right? So in terms of the Photoshop example, the information the person was presenting would be like the raw picture, but then there's all these other layers on top that also get communicated and equally get received by the audience. So they're not just working with the raw data, the raw picture, they're getting all the other layers as well. And if you are in a certain experience or mode, say you're being overly confident or you're being really, really shy, that gets added into the mix. It becomes part of how the person receives the information. And depending on who you're presenting information to, they might be able to see, like, okay, this is this person's personal reality stuff that's seeping into the information. I can just put that aside and still listen to what they're saying and do my best to pay attention and integrate the information. But not everyone is like that. So there's a responsibility in the presenter to bring themselves in a space where who they are is going to be most effective to transfer and communicate that information. But equally, there's a responsibility on the audience to put themselves in a space and position to be an effective recipient. So it takes two to tango. But anyway, so that's just kind of to give you a context about what the interviews are about. But they go a lot more specific and deeper. So I do suggest, if this interests you, to check them out. But what I took from this was my own experience in making videos and vlogs, and how shocked I was when I first made videos at like things like my facial expression, little behaviors, my choice of words, where all your life you live behind your face. You don't really see your face unless you're on video or someone takes a picture and shows it to you. And your face, your body language is kind of like a canvas that provides so much more information than what you may consciously be aware of. And how making vlogs to share points, open up things, provide perspectives, as much as you're doing the act of vlogging for other people, you're also doing it for yourself. In that when you watch yourself on video, you learn so much about yourself. When I made my very first video, this was probably about 10 years ago, I didn't even upload them, you know, because it took me days to even push that record button. I was petrified of this inanimate lens staring at me. But obviously I'm not, you know, at that stage, and you know, it still comes up. It's not that I'm actually afraid of that object, of the lens staring at me like it is right now. It's all my ideas, my projections, my beliefs about being exposed, about being seen. And just that whole process leading up to making a video, even not even actually doing it, was so supportive in me being mirrored back to me through I was just sitting in my room, I would be staring at that lens, and all these judgments would come up, all these fears would come up, and it's such a great opportunity to actually look at them, see what you can learn from them, and then release them. Especially if you say like you're a person who doesn't go out much, or you're not in a position where you've got a lot of social interaction, because there you would generally also face those things. Doing something like vlogs can be tremendous support. You know, as much as you're sharing things that can be helpful for others, you're creating that space to reflect on yourself. Another example, this was after I hadn't done any videos for a while because I had my baby, and it was just like one of the last things I was thinking about was making time to, you know, take a shower and make sure I look kind of normal and not like a mombi. I made one of my vlogs back then, and like the first thing that stood out was how fast I was talking, and I was constantly catching my breath. And that kind of immediately shows to you like, wait, what's going on here? What are all these insecurities? Why is my expression point, my throat, my breathing, why is everything so restricted? Because generally you will play that, say, energetic signature, like if you put yourself, like you can just do it right now, go that kind of like panic. If that comes up when you're making a video, or you know, it would indicate that you've been in that signature to a lesser extent, but still that same signature in your daily life for quite some time. Which then, when you're in front of a camera and the whole idea of an audience and God knows who's going to watch this, and the possibility of getting, you know, shitty feedback, it kind of puts it underneath a magnifying glass, like the lens is your magnifying glass, and it gives you that space to see all your insecurities, your little quirks, and to work with that. Another example, this was a little bit later. I again hadn't done videos for a while. I made a video and I saw my jaw was like skew, and my face was like longer than usual. It's like, that's not how I remember my face. Because you know, when you look into the mirror, you're usually just standing still, and you can only look at yourself from so many angles, and you're still kind of looking at yourself as a standstill picture. But what you want to see is, you want to see yourself in movement and flow when you're actually playing things out. And that's what video does that a mirror can't really do as effectively. That's why I hadn't noticed it in the mirror, how my face was like structurally changing. And then I watched my video and I was like, oh my god, what's going on with my jaw? And first I didn't even want to upload the video, lots of judgments about it. But then I went and I looked, okay, what's happening with my face? Why am I doing this? And what I realized was that, you know, the last couple of months I had gone through a very stressful period. And in that stressful period, it was affecting my hydration levels. I was in survival, and my tongue had become like dry and was a little bit bigger than usual, and it was like uncomfortable in my mouth. I didn't know where to put it, and it was like pushing against my teeth, and I had put my tongue kind of like to the side for a moment, just to get some relief from my teeth and pressure points. But when that period was over and everything went back to normal, what I didn't realize is that I had kept my tongue in a misaligned position, and that was actually affecting how my jaw was sitting, how everything was sitting, how my face was getting longer. So just by doing a vlog, that was not even the intention. I was just wanting to make a vlog, share a point. But then you have that opportunity to reflect on yourself and see these physical points that maybe, people that might not necessarily notice about yourself, but you notice it about yourself and go, wait, that's different. Why is that different? What's going on there? And I was then able to work with my tongue posture and correct my jaw sitting all skew. And then many months later, when I had someone else come up with kind of a similar problem, I said, well, this is what happened to me. And I saw it in a video, and I went to investigate it. What is this all about? And I found some really cool resources on the internet. Here's the resources. Go and check it out, because that really helped me with restructuring my face. So the point I want to make is that vlogging is really valuable. Not only for others, but also for yourself. And you will be so surprised, so amazed at what comes out of it for you, and how much you can use that as an external support to reflect back onto yourself and get to know yourself so much better. And also what I found is that when I'm consistent with making videos, and I really make a point to learn and adjust myself from what I see in the videos about myself, it makes my daily life easier as well. Because when you're going through your daily life, your daily routines, you're used to how you react. It's normal. It's like the water is doing this, but it's not really a problem. Whereas when you're making a video and you're in that more intensified, focused space, the water starts splashing, and then you start noticing it, and then you start working on it, and then you actually start to realize how much this was actually, how that little water movement throughout your day-to-day life was actually affecting you, and how much it is supporting you to work with those small points, and how so many more things open up for you. So this is what I wanted to share. Part of why I'm inspired to do vlogs is to learn more about myself, as much as it is about sharing things with other people. So I do hope you are inspired to at the least play with putting yourself in front of that camera, see what comes up, get to know yourself, and who knows, maybe you'll be making videos in no time, sharing yourself, your expression, your journey with others. Thank you for watching.